What's going on, everybody? ChromeOnRust here. So I've kind of been at a crossroads myself on what I should be doing with my Witch Doctor gear. Mainly, should I be selling it? Should I be keeping it? Because Reaper of Souls has been announced, and at some point our gear is going to become obsolete, at least once we've hit level 70. Now, it might be some good level 60 gear, if you want to like keep it around, if you want to level up some other classes, if you got a Barbarian now and you want to throw it on your Crusader whenever you hit level 60. You can do things like that, or let your buddy use it, hang on to it. I just want to talk about what I've been thinking about, because I'm not totally sure on what I want to do, or whether I should sell my gear or whether I should keep it. Now, and then there's not going to be an exact answer for everyone. Like myself, I'm still not sure. I'm kind of leaning one way. I'll talk about that a little bit later once I start getting into it. This is all pretty unbiased. It's just what I've been thinking. I'm just a guy with some opinions, and that's what I want to talk about on just a few things that I jotted down here. There's a few things. Okay, we'll just go with that. There's a few things. I'm just going to hit the ground running. Boom, boom, boom. Just like when we get into the Reaper of Souls, that's what everybody's been saying. I just want to not sell my gear and hit the ground running. Okay, but there's going to be some other things you could do and there's just going to be a lot of other things, because you might have 10 mil gear and someone else might have 10 bill gear, equivalent of what their total gear is worth. Somebody might have an item that's 10 billion. I can't totally tell you what to do with things like that, because that's going to get into like maybe some actual real money things like that. And I don't know how much like 10 bill item would be selling for and things like that. But I just want to get into this. Hardcore versus softcore. I'm going to say that I don't play a ton of hardcore myself, but I did want to talk about it here just briefly right quick. I do have a level 60 Demon Hunter. What's up? They're squishy, but I got them there. Her. It's a her. The dudes kind of walk a little funny, I think, the Demon Hunters. And that was actually the main reason why I played the chick. I created the dude. I just couldn't stand the way he looked, and I created the chick, and I was like, yes, chick Demon Hunter. I don't know, that's what I thought of when I thought of the Demon Hunter anyways, because that's how they showcased the Demon Hunter when they announced her. It was a her. And then they're like, oh, you're going to be able to play a gender for every class. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Hardcore, I would not sell my gear, because basically I'd cry if I died. If I died, I'd cry. And if I sold some really good piece of gear, and I was like, you know what, if I had that piece of gear and I didn't sell it, I probably would still be alive, and that would make me pretty sad. So hardcore, I'd keep my gear. That's my recommendation. Those who are paragoning now, just to kind of get into the whole general scheme of things, if you're paragoning now, there's some things you're going to be able to do. You might have 10 mil gear, someone else might have 20 mil gear, and another person might have 20 bill gear. So there's going to be a lot of differences in here. I'm going to say if you have like around $1 billion or less, somewhere in that area, I don't know, it's going to be different for different people. That's a very rough number, to just $1 billion. Okay, you might not want to sell your gear. You're not going to be getting a ton. Now, this is if you plan to still play and everything. If you're not planning to play, you can sell your gear and just get yourself some like MP3, MP4 gear, whatever, when Reaper of Souls is released, and then you can start playing, and I'm sure you'll do okay, and then you'll end up finding some decent gear along the way. But I don't know that. This is all my opinion. Let me throw that out there one more time. This is all just my opinion. So if you're paragoning now, and depending on how much your gear is worth, maybe sell it, maybe don't. How much is your gear worth? How much gold do you have? Now, I was already talking about this a little bit, I guess. But it's also going to be how much gold do you have currently. If you have like 1 bill, or we'll say 5 bill gear, because that's where I'm saying. We'll say 5 bill gear. Okay, I just geared out my Witch Doctor between June and July, and I spent about 5.6 billion on it. I went a little crazy, and Witch Doctors really aren't my main class, and I'm kind of leaning towards sell for that reason. But if this were a Barbarian, I would be very torn, especially with the Crusader being released. I do kind of want to get some strength gear, because Crusaders are going to be strength based. So that's something else you could think of. If you're a Barbarian and you want to play the Crusader and you already got that strength gear, you might not want to be selling it, because it's going to help you level up 2 classes at that point and not just 1. Getting double your money there, but at some point your gear is going to become obsolete. So I didn't totally touch on what I was talking about, but if you have a lot of gold in your bankroll and you're gear's worth, we'll just say like 5% of that. No, I was talking about me in my example. This is it's not about me, but I do want to kind of put it in my perspective because that's what I'm dealing with right now. If this were a barbarian, we'll just say this is my favorite class, and I got this 5 build tied up, and I have like 1.8 billion currently just like sitting around, in my on my guy. So I think I would have to sell some of it if I were looking at this as a barbarian. I think I would have to sell some of it. I don't think I could sell every piece. There's going to be some pieces that you might be attached to, or you're not just even going to get enough money from it in return. So, I'm rambling here. I'm kind of sorry about this, but I just kind of want to hit it and get it. And I just got off work, and my mind's kind of blue. Like furnaces. What's going on with this guy's furnace? I don't know, but all right. Anyways, so when will Reaper of Souls be released? It's probably not going to be for a while. It's not going to be this year. If it comes out this year, whoa, man. But we got like 2 months left in this year. No. Okay, we'll talk about Christmas of next year. We'll just say around then. That's about a year away. That's still quite a long time to be playing Diablo without your really nice gear or whatever the case may be. So keep that in mind as well, because it could be a while. It could be a while. Now, also something, will your build die? I kind of got my cheat sheets over here. That's why I keep looking. Boom, boom. Will your build die? Whirlwind Barbs, I shouldn't say die. Because, like, Blizzard doesn't want to, like, totally just kill off a build. I don't think. I can't speak for them. But they're not totally looking to kill off builds. They want to create more builds. So maybe the Whirlwind Barb isn't going to be as good because they are going to be nerfing Wrath of the Berserker, Thrive on Chaos. And you're not going to be able to, like, perma Wrath of Berserker unscathed because you just got, like, 1,000 attack speed and so much more crit chance. And you can't be frozen and you can't be, jailered or whatever. So they do want to kind of eliminate on builds like that. CM Wizards, you're rocking around perma-freezing everything for everybody. I don't see them quite letting you do things like that. They want you to be able to do really cool things, don't get me wrong. So maybe these builds aren't going to die. I don't know, but this is just kind of what they've been looking at. And they have talked about nerfing Wrath of the Berserker, Thrive on Chaos. I do know that. But they haven't done it yet. They've only talked about it. And it's been a while since I talked about the whole Wrath of Berserker, Thrive on Chaos nerf and everything. The video that everyone hated. Maybe this will be the second one. I don't know. Okay? Keeping your gear also could give you an edge in Reaper of Souls. This is something that people talk about quite a bit, actually. I'm not one to but this is... I just don't know what to do, Like, my mind is... It's trying to figure out, put all the pieces together on what you should actually be doing, and it's not going to be able to do it. It's going to be different for everyone, but, you might have an edge in Reaper of Souls. This is really, really rambly. I'm going to try to, pinpoint, target, on topic, Like, if you hate this video and you like some of my other videos, let me know, This one's just more talking about the game. And this is some theory crafting, really, and some discussion, because there's not a ton going on in Diablo 3. I mean, I'm more than happy to make some more, like, gearing guides. Actually, I know some people have been asking for some gearing guides, so I could do something like that as well. But I just want to do something like this, actually try to hammer out one of the major topics that people have been talking about. Okay, so you might have an edge in Reaper of Souls that's pretty much speaks for itself. Think about the future. Will some items become sought after, just like the Legacy Nat set is now in patch 1.0.8, where we are currently? Okay, Legacy Nat set gives you like 2 discipline per second or something like that, and it's just insane because you're not supposed to be able to get that much discipline in the game. That was not how they wanted it to be, and it ended up being quite a bit. And so if you have a Legacy Nats set, you know what I'm talking about. You could probably sell it for a pretty penny even now. Like, Legacy Nat set, I don't even want to know how much they're going to be worth in the new Diablo Reaper of Souls expansion. Maybe they're going to... See, that's where you got to, you really got to look into this stuff. You can't just kind of, scratch things on the surface. I am here a little bit, but I am trying to get a little bit in depth with some of these topics as well. Now, I'm not going to get into Legacy Nat set. You're on your own with that one. I'm sorry, because that's it could be really, really spanking valuable, or it could just end up being useless because there's going to be something new that's just going to blow it out of the water. I don't think so, but maybe be kind of comparable, things like that. But Legacy Nat set, I'm sure there'll still be like oogled after and like, I remember those days. People want to hang on to them and everything. There's going to be nostalgia's sake as well, things like that. So, like SOJs, this is something else. You could try to bring items into Reaper of Souls that you think are going to be valuable. Stone of Jordans, maybe that bonus 30% extra to elites, maybe that's going to be huge. Maybe items aren't going to have things like that. I don't know. There is going to be a new Stone of Jordan. I do believe they are bringing all the current legendaries into the old, or all the old legendaries into the new Reaper of Souls that is going to be coming out. But maybe they're going to have some different things on there because they do want all like the legendaries to be kind of epic. And right now, as we know, they're not very epic. So we're going to be getting quite a bit of tweaks to legendaries we do have as well now. I actually have a couple 300 spears currently, and I want to get one of the new ones when Reaper of Souls comes out, and I want to have like all 3 of them and everything. Nostalgia, I guess. I remember that 300 spear. I thought it was so good. Like, I didn't think it was good, but I thought it was so cool that I found one back when legendaries were actually really hard to find. So, all right, the next one here is, how much did you pay for your gear, and are you willing to take a big of a hit if the prices have decreased over how much, I don't know, your gear was worth then when you bought it to how much it is worth now since Reaper of Souls has been announced. So are you willing to take that hit? Because things have been selling for quite cheaper. I do know you would not really find a 6 crit strength Mempho on the gold auction house. You find them on the real money auction house all day. But on the gold auction house, not really. As soon as one got posted, someone sniped it for 2 billion, and you saw it on the real money auction house, just that next day or whatever. So now 6 crit Memphos, they are being posted on the gold auction house. So prices are dropping. People do know that their gear is going to be useless at some point. Well, I shouldn't say that, because if you kept your level 60 gear, I think once again that it's going to be pretty good level 60 gear. Like if your buddy starts playing, he's just getting in the Reaper Souls, you're like, hey dude, you got to try this, I got some gear you can use too. And you give him this level, like once you get to level 60 you can use this, and he starts using it. He's like, yeah, I feel like I'm awesome or something because he's using this level 60 gear. There's things like that you can do as well. Keep it, use it, help other people with it, whatever you want to do. So keep all your gear from one character and sell the rest is an opinion that I do here. If you main a Witch Doctor or you main a Barbarian, you might want to keep that Witch Doctor or that Barbarian's gear and then sell all your other 4 classes and just gear them out, for a few billions. So you're playing on the lower MPs and you're fine, and you'll be able to actually play in Reaper Souls. That's the major complaint. People always say, what are you going to do with your gear? Did I already talk about this? Oh man, I'm not even going to talk about it now. Okay, I'll just say it again one more time just in case I didn't talk about it. The people's major complaint is, what are you going to do in Reaper of Souls if you sell all your gear? Well, people are basically saying, I'm not going to just sell my gear. I'm going to obviously buy some new gear to replace it. I'm just not going to be farming as efficiently. So how much is your gear worth to you? Okay, not just how much is your gear worth in terms of gold or real money, but how much is your gear worth to you? If it's going to kill you to sell it, don't do it. If it's going to kill you, why would you do it? It's just a game. If you're enjoying your gear and everybody else is selling theirs, just hang on to your gear, man. You can keep it till Reaper of Souls 2 or whatever. If they actually do end up coming out with the second expansion. There was talks of a second expansion when Diablo was actually being talked about originally a couple years ago now. But I'm not going to get into that. Let's just deal with the first expansion pack that we actually are getting, and maybe just hope that we get a second one if the first one goes well enough. Selling your gold or selling your gear for gold could actually be a bad thing. And what I mean by that is in Diablo 2 and in other games, PoE, we'll just say that one, they don't even have gold. They're just like items for items is how players trade, and they kind of judge and base like, okay, a few of these items are going to be worth that piece of gear. Things like that. In Diablo 2, it was pretty much the same way. I'll trade you this piece of gear for, a rune or some gems I need a bunch of diamonds, and I got this piece of gear, and you need it. Let's make a trade. It really wasn't like, I'll give you some gold because you only used your gold for like mercenaries and things like that, and you repaired your gear with it. And I could see that happening in Diablo 3. I think they want to I think they want gold to be somewhat valuable. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as valuable as it is now because they're removing the auction house, and gold was so powerful because of the auction house, because everybody was selling their gear on there, and you have to use gold. So gold was it. Gold was the go-to thing. What's the new go-to thing going to be? What could you bring in the Reaper of Souls? I don't know. Fiery brimstones? I don't even know if legendaries are going to salvage into those brimstones anymore. I have a bunch of brimstones. I'm probably just going to hang on to them because they're not really worth anything as far as I know. I haven't looked recently. Maybe they are. But I got like 5k brimstones or something. I don't know. Something else is with the auction house removal. I'm going to go off on a side tangent here or whatever. I guess they're going to talk about it, but I have a bunch of items that I keep in my stash. Like, I'll go to sell them and I'll just cancel them immediately, so they'll go into that unsold tab or whatever, because you just don't have enough stash space, and to keep that many brimstones is just, it's not feasible. Why would I just don't. I have max characters because I just have them stuffed with items, junk, things, just they're stuffed. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to do with that stuff. Just probably end up getting sold or something. Okay. So gems could be the new currency. Rubies might increase in price. That's just keep it in mind. And at the end of the day, your items are going to be obsolete. They just are. I want to play this little clip for you real fast. You can go ahead and listen to it. Tell me what you think. It's just, what did the actual Diablo devs are saying about the gear on whether it's going to be obsolete or not.
With the new expansion, I guess a lot of players who have invested a lot of time in their characters are worried, is my gear going to be obsolete immediately?
No, not immediately. So when you first start in the game, it's really important to us that you get upgrades, and that's what Diablo is all about, is that you get loot upgrades. So it's not that the gear is obsolete right off the bat, but we have expanded the power of the gear so that you can get new things. If you have the very best items in Diablo 3, we still want you to get new items on a pretty regular basis. So that's part of it. In addition, we have a brand new system called enchanting. That's our new Crafter the Mystic enchants items. You can get more life out of your existing gear by enchanting it. You can reroll one of your worse or lesser stats and get a more powerful one, therefore getting more life out of it as well. So there's a lot of room to grow, and there's still lots of power out of the gear that people already have.
So there you go. That's the Diablo devs talking about on whether your gear is going to be obsolete or not. They said they don't want you to be obsolete right away, but they do want you to find items very often, which really doesn't totally go hand in hand when I'm looking at it. If you're finding items often, how are you going to be keeping your old gear current? But I don't know. Maybe they're going to do it, but you're going to end up hitting level 70, and you're not going to be wanting to use that level 60 gear anyways. So gear is going to not be good for end game content. Let me just put it that way. It's not going to be bad gear, I don't think, but for end game content, nope. Just not going to happen. Okay, last and final thing. I know this is really rambly, 17 minutes just talking away at you. BlizzCon's coming with announcements for D3. This could give more information on release date, and could also give us some more insight on what's going to be valuable. And this could cause the economy to fluctuate either up or down. If it's a release date and it's really far away, we could see some increase in prices, things like that. If it's a release date and it's like 7 months away, you might see some decreases of more and more people hitting that panic button and dumping their gear and just wanting to get something a little less expensive. So prices may fluctuate. That's basically going to be it for me. I think that's pretty much all I've got for this portion. I think I'm going to sell my Witch Doctor gear. That's kind of where I'm at. I do want to go ahead and gear out my Barbarian, but I also want to see how much my Witch Doctor gear is going to be taking a hit. I hope it's at least still worth around $3 billion. I think I'd probably sell it at that point still. I'm hoping to get more. Like I said, I spent 5.6, but I'm hoping to get 3. we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated on that and everything. Well, that's going to be it for me. I'm ChromeOnRust for Corex for Gaming. Man, these new lights that I got are really bright because I do live in the Chicagoland and time did just change. Hits 5 o'clock and it's like dark outside. And I've actually never really used lighting. I always just opened up my window and haha, there's ChromeOnRust. So the new lights, they're pretty bright. I'm going to have to probably do something with it. It's like stage lighting, okay? Anyways, I'm out of here. I'm ChromeOnRust. I'm out of here. It's so much better. And you all, have a great day.
The equipment is sort of where it's interesting. The legendary items are getting a complete overhaul. So their power was increased in one of the patches we did quite dramatically, but all of the old items, when new versions of them roll, as well as all of the many new legendaries we have, are all getting completely unique effects. So the idea is any legendary you get does something that no other item in the game does. One of the goals of that system is to encourage build diversity. So it's not just that the item itself is cool, but it also makes you try something you might not have tried otherwise.